Hey, it's Keith Townsend from the CTOadvisor.com, and you're watching another CTO Dose brought to you by the great folks at V. Brown Bag Build Day Live, sponsored by SuperMicro. We're on site in San Jose in Silicon Valley in the US, and I'm talking with Patrick Wang, VP or Corporate Strategy for SuperMicro. Patrick, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah. So, first off, one of our first interviews of the week, SuperMicro. Give us a little background. How long has the company been around?
Yeah, we were founded and headquartered here in San Jose over 2 decades ago. In fact, we're going to be celebrating our 25th year anniversary later this year. So it's been 25 great years, and we're right now preparing for the next 25.
So talk to me a little bit. I saw some marketing material on SuperMicro 3.0. What's the significance?
Yeah. Okay. So let me take you back a little bit. If we take a look at the history of the company, the first 15 years or so was what we'd call 1.0.
Right.
We were focused on subsystems. We were building great motherboards and spreading our roots. Right. Everyone knows SuperMicro. They all know that we're great at doing motherboards. For the next 9 to 10 years, we moved on. We took that IP as building blocks and started to go after full solutions, full systems, right? Those 9 to 10 years, the company saw tremendous growth. That's when we really saw something on average of 20% growth for those 10 years, which is quite incredible.
Right.
That's what I call 2.0. Last year, we pivoted to 3.0. And what we're doing is we're moving up the ladder. We want to go after full solutions. We want to deliver great solutions for customers, really targeting Global 2000 customers out there. And so when you take a look at the quarter century that we've gone through, it's quite an amazing journey going from subsystems, building blocks, motherboards and such, to fully integrated racks that all the customers have to do is plug in power, plug in networking, and you're ready to go.
Well, talk to me a little bit about that, the validity of that journey. As we look at the overall market, look at competitors, we look at SuperMicro, and think of SuperMicro as you mentioned, that motherboard company, the components that made up my solution.
Yeah.
What's the kind of meat behind the story of the success over the past few years? Tell us a little bit about the financials. I think I read that you guys have something in the order of $2 billion in revenue. Walk me through that. Like, help me feel comfortable that I'm selecting a vendor that they'll be there for the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. I think that there's a lot of misperceptions out there about SuperMicro. A lot of times people say SuperMicro, I know them as a motherboard company. I don't know them as a solution system company, and that's fair. And so what we're here to do is to really educate people and get them up to speed on what we've been doing at the company for so many years. Right. So financially, we're actually run rating $4 billion.
Wow.
Right. So it's folks have thrown out 1, 2, 2.5. We actually did $3 billion last fiscal year. And we're still on track for doing something closer to $4 billion this year.
Nice size company.
So, it's a great size company. Financially, that's that, right? If you take a look at our actual physical footprint, we have over 10 buildings here in San Jose, right? So we have a pretty big footprint here in Silicon Valley headquarters. We have 6 factories on site. So we're actually, I think, the biggest server solution company to manufacture right here in the U.S.
So talk to me a little bit about that. We talk to competitors all the time, and they just say they can't compete in manufacture here, specifically not just in the U.S., but the price of real estate here in the Valley is high. How are you guys able to control costs and deliver solutions that compete with the likes of $57 billion companies?
Yeah. I think it comes down to our innovation and technology, right? So innovation is really in our DNA. When you take a look at it from day one, we have decades-long technology partnerships with leaders like Intel, right? We have built it through this building block IP that I talked about. We have engineering expertise for green computing, and really, when you take a look at it, we're able to do this because we have the best engineers, the best technology out there. We're first to market with cutting edge technology. So if you take a look at that, there's something that I do want to point out. It's our disaggregated server design. We introduced it about 18 months ago, right? And this is spearheaded by our CEO. Our CEO is passionate about doing green computing and whatever we can do to save Mother Earth. That's a key focus priority of his. And so when you take a look at what we've been able to do on the technology side of things, our manufacturing in the U.S., our time to market advantage, first to market, put them all together, we have something that's a little bit different than what our other friends out there are doing, and we think that we have tremendous potential going forward.
So, talk to me a little bit about that story of closing the gap between idea to design to manufacturing, like the real advantages of having all of that centralized basically here in the valley. Your partners are here or close to here. Your engineers are here. Your manufacturing is here. How does that impact the end customer that gets a SuperMicro solution?
Yeah, it's a great question. So let's put up a hypothetical. Let's say we're going to start we're really smart guys. We've got a great idea. We've got some algorithms, got some software, just a great concept. And so we get together and we write the software, we design the architecture, but we're really not interested in doing hardware. Right. And so if SuperMicro wasn't around, we'd take a flight to Taiwan or China and say, hey, guys, we've got a great idea. This is what we'd like to do. Build something for us. Partner with us. And in 9 out of 10 times, they come back to you and say, well, how do you want us to build it? Right. Our value add, the fact that we have over 10 buildings here, we have, I think when you look at our staff, over 40% are engineers, which is quite a great number when you take a look at the manufacturing and all that other staff that we have. So it's a pretty high concentration of engineers. The majority of them here. So if we've got a great idea and we want to create a product.
I want to do analytics in a box.
Analytics in a box. You got a great algorithm. Let's go, we'll call SuperMicro. We'll get set up probably in one of these buildings in a big conference room with a big whiteboard, right? We'll go and we'll talk about it, and we will knock out all the specs, right? I will be able to call in hardware engineers, software engineers, any engineer you need, BIOS, software, hardware, chassis. We can design the exterior of it, right? Within 4 hours, within an afternoon, we'll be able to actually have a product.
So that face-to-face collaboration is right there here in the valley, where the ideals are generated, from idea to all the way manufacturing to. And I want to talk before we move on. Let's talk about the support that comes in, like that joint partnership with your local customers who are taking SuperMicro and using it as their OEM backend to their solution.
Yeah.
How does that help support?
Well, and this is consistent with your last question. Just to finish that one off, we'll in one afternoon come up with a design for a system. And what we've done with customers in the past is within 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have a quick turn. We'll have quick turn samples shipped to you,
right?
Delivered to you. So you'll have the boxes with your software, with your algorithm, and the on site, right? So that's really the value add of having all the engineering here, paying this real estate. It's kind of crazy, but that takes us to your next question about our OEM partnership. So we have quite a number of OEM partners out there. A few of them are very, very well documented. There are some that are less documented. But that relationship, those types of relationships really began because of what we just talked about, right? Having a bunch of smart guys out there who have an idea and a vision, coming to SuperMicro and really converting that to physical product, right? In a very short period of time. The the building block IP that I talked about is key, right? The locale is key. You don't have to take a 16-hour flight overseas. Just drive down the road if you're in San Jose. And then, of course, you know, the customization, because we've got the folks here, we've got the IP. We're able to quickly convert that to a product.
So, talk to me about leadership. You know, we've talked about process a bit. We've talked about the technology. Let's talk a little bit more about people. This transition from a motherboard company to a full solutions company has to be well thought out, well planned, well executed. You have to have the right people for that. How has SuperMicro, as part of its transformation, changed in people?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a great question. We've actually had quite a bit of change. I'd say in the past year, we've had probably the most significant change at the senior management level. And I think that we really have to give kudos to our CEO for seeing the need, right? For seeing the need, identifying the right talent, bringing them on board so that we can pivot and really transfer, accelerate in 3.0, right? If we go to talking about SuperMicro 3.0, going for different types of customers, going for different types of business models, going for different types of systems and processes, requires different folks. So we've had quite a bit of change. I think that our customers and partners are starting to see the change from within percolate to the outside. And I think that in the next year to two, certainly they're going to see more of that.
So from a organization mix, you know, we see a lot of organizations, they're very sales heavy, or they're very back office heavy. Talk to us about the mix of engineering versus sales versus back office support. How much of the organization are pure engineers?
So, as I mentioned earlier, over 40% of our staff is engineering. And the majority of those engineers are here in San Jose. It's really split between San Jose and Taiwan.
Okay.
Because we have quite a presence in Taiwan too. We have a SuperMicro Science Park in Taoyuan in Taiwan.
Out of curiosity, how big is it?
It's 3-4 buildings.
Okay.
3-4 buildings. We have manufacturing in Taiwan, and so it's quite a sizable operation. What we do is for our APAC customers, we manufacture out of Taiwan, preferably, right? All the APAC customers, it's logistically it just makes sense, right? Same with
advantages as here in the U.S.
Exactly, right? Same as the Netherlands. We have another site up in the Netherlands where we have smaller engineering, but quite strong engineering group up there in manufacturing as well, right? So when we're shipping to EMEA customers and partners, we preferably like to ship through the Netherlands.
Makes sense. So whether it's potential partner, potential customer, how do people engage with SuperMicro? Let's close out.
Give us a call. We're around. We've got very, very sizable sales staff, which is growing quickly. But we're right here. We're right here in San Jose, right here in the U.S., easily accessible, and so just give us a call.
All right. So Patrick, we'd like to thank you for joining the CTO Dose. SuperMicro 1.0 to 3.0, the people process change needed to happen to take advantage of that. The advantage of having manufacturing and engineering all here in the U.S. and the agility that brings potential customers. We loved hearing the story. You want to learn more about SuperMicro, of course, you can just visit the webpage as well, supermicro.com. You want to learn more about the CTO Advisor, you can visit us on the web, thectoadvisor.com. You can see this and other videos on the video channel, ctodose.com. Until the next CTO Dose, talk to you